Hey, Harrison here. Today I want to talk to you about consciousness. What is it? How does it work? And why you would want to transform your consciousness. Most people don't think about transforming their consciousness. They're always trying to improve their outcomes by working on their physical reality and by working harder. And I don't know whether you realize or not, but you can work harder, you can work 10 times harder, you ain't gonna make 10 times more money, you ain't gonna be 10 times more productive. So if you want to be more productive and to get more done in less time, you got to do something different. You can work on your beliefs, you can work on your attitudes, you can work on your mindset, you can work on your emotion, you can work on all these things. They are not the most effective thing you can work on. The most effective area that will give you the most return from the least amount of effort in the least amount of time is to transform your consciousness. And if you think what consciousness is, most people make it woo-woo, complicated, real hard to understand. I mean, what the heck is consciousness? Where does it come from and how does it happen? Simply put, consciousness is about awareness. It's awareness of awareness. So the more you're aware, the more conscious you are. The less aware, the less conscious you are. If you look at a low-level life form, like one single cell, how conscious is it? How aware is it of its environment? How much ability does it have to get up and move around and go and do stuff? Not much. Whereas if you look at a four-legged creature, how much mobility does it have? How much awareness, situational awareness of its environment? It has a lot more compared to a single cell. If you look at a human being, we have much more capability to impact our environment around us, to plan the future, to think about the past, and to learn from the past, and to set visions and goals for the future. This requires a different level of consciousness. That's upside down. A different level of consciousness, a different level of awareness. But most people, they don't invest in their consciousness. They don't think about ways they can improve it. What they invest in, they want to go invest in a house, they want to go invest in some stocks, they want to get some income generating assets. But if you consider that your consciousness is an income generating asset, it's your single biggest investment. It's your most valuable asset. And it shows up in terms of your life force, how much life force you have to do the stuff that you want to do, and how effective you can be without putting in lots and lots of effort. Now you can put in effort in the right place and get a much higher return than how most people do it, which is just basically trading time for money and doing it as a labor thing. So basic physical labor is the lowest level, whereas if you can use your mind and you can use your creativity and you can get in the right place at the right time, then you can have a lot more flow. This will happen from working on your consciousness and your awareness. So what are some of the things you can be aware of? You can be aware of other people, other places. You can be aware of your environment, how it impacts you. You can be aware of how you impact your environment. You can be aware of how your relationships impact you and how relationships, you can impact other people in relationship. You can be aware of how you go into a bank, how the bank impacts you, how you impact the bank, and how these two-way dynamics and then multi-dimensions occur in these different relationships. And most people have no idea what that looks like and why you'd want to do it. They're not even aware. They just go from place to place, mostly in reaction. React to this, react to that. They don't think about why they react to it. They don't think about the future where they could have no reactions and they could plan for much better outcomes. This takes a higher level of consciousness. So think about it. Think about what your consciousness looks like, how it shows up, and what you can do to improve it, and how you can measure it. Because we at Gold Zone, we created a system that you can measure consciousness on a 7-point scale. So you got 7 different zones, 7 different levels of consciousness, and you get much more results when you're on a higher level than when you're on a lower level. It makes sense, doesn't it? Because when you're on a lower level, oh man, you're going to get the nasty stuff. But look at this. Here's some levels of consciousness that you can look at. Here we go. Lower level down here, higher level up there. And we've got different colors to represent different zones of consciousness, different levels of effectiveness and results that you get when you're down here. Very low. This is like your denial zone, your apathy. And up here, you're in the zone at the right place at the right time. And look at the different levels you can measure and you can improve. You have a lower level of life force, a lower level of consciousness, higher level of life force, higher level of consciousness. We call it the Optima Zones. It's a system for measuring consciousness, effectiveness, productivity, and results. You want to learn more about this system, just click the link below. So some of the other things that you can measure on consciousness is how people are, how they respond to different situations. There's 7 different types of people to correspond with the 7 different levels of consciousness. There's also 7 different paradigms that people fit in, where their money dynamics are in these different paradigms, their relationships, their behavior, their leadership, how they are as a follower. See, here's 7 different levels of followers based on the different levels of consciousness. And the consciousness, the engine that's driving everything. Level of awareness. Think of awareness when you think of consciousness. And that's what I want to share with you today. Click on the link below. You want more information? You want to know more about this and how it works?